I have wine too, by the way.
I got my
Liquid
water.
courage.
I got my
I have
water.
I have water too.
Perfect. Do we want to fix maybe the screen there a bit? I'll do a quick introduction. I'm just going to fix the screen. Okay. Kim Yuhl. We know her as PokerNews writer, the Muck author. But thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. We've had, I know you play a little bit of poker, that's right? A little
I
bit?
do. I
Sometimes.
haven't actually been playing as much lately, but I funded
Okay.
my first business with my poker winnings. So
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so we had a whole bunch of poker pros on already. We're gonna have more coming up. It's really cool to have you on. I know a bunch about you. I've seen a lot of stuff that you've like published and stuff, but it'd be really nice for everyone else to get an overview of what you do. A really cool story about how you sold your business and now you're just gonna like travel and do stuff. So maybe introduce yourself for those who don't know who you are, and we'll get some questions going. Where's our
okay.
face? Sorry, we're gonna fix the video if you wanna. Yeah, we're good. It's on our end, not you. You're good.
Okay.
All right. Tell us about Kim Yuhl.
Me? Tell you about me?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I don't really know what to say. I walked into my first card room when I was 21 years old.
Yeah.
Literally
Where?
on my birthday.
Which card room?
It's called, God, I can't think of the name. It's out in Fountain Hills in Arizona. It was in a tent. It wasn't even
A tent? You played
like,
poker in a tent?
Yeah, like Fort McDowell is the name.
Okay.
It's like a big tent, not like a little camping tent, but
Okay.
like a big structure.
Okay.
And I sat down with a table of 7. At the time, I thought they were old men. Now they're probably my age right now. Men. We were playing 7-card stud, and I knew I was onto something when the guy had the nuts on the river. I bet into him, and he just said, "Oh, little lady, I am not going to raise you. Save your money."
Wow.
And I was like, I gotta start playing more. I actually learned to play when I was 8 years old in my grandpa's shed. He would make, win all my pennies, and I would have to go do chores for more pennies to play. And
Reload.
my family is full of gamblers and players, and we love games and competition. And so that's sort of how I started playing poker. I played on and off my entire adult life. I started my first business with winnings from my poker. And then my family and we all moved to Thailand for 2 years. And it was about 2 months before the World Series of Poker, which I had been going to and playing mostly cash games because it's always so busy during that time of year. And I was so sad that I was in Thailand and I was looking for a way to get to Vegas. And on a whim, I applied to be a live blogger for PokerNews.
Okay.
Got interviewed. They flew me out about 6 weeks later, worked my first World Series, and have been associated with them ever since. So that was in, I don't know, maybe 2013?
Wow, okay.
Like that. Yeah.
Wow, nice.
So then I started doing more editorial work for them while maintaining my business. I sold my second physical business to move to Thailand, and then I started helping businesses market their businesses because people just started asking me how I did it. And so I just sort of naturally got into that. And so I sort of maintained my 6-week stint at the World Series with PokerNews. Put my business a little bit on the back burner during that time. But as you mentioned, I just sold my marketing business. Yep. And took on some additional freelance writing and getting ready to start. I'm calling it the year of following the sun.
Wow, nice. I like it.
Because I don't like the cold. I live in the 5th snowiest city in the United States right now, and I do not like the cold. So
yeah, we just got a bunch of snow like the past 2 days here in Calgary, and I'm pretty sure it's cold out there, but we haven't really left the condo to like find out if it's cold. I don't think we will.
To look out on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We have like a rooftop patio at the condo we're at, and like a week ago, I was out there taking photos with like clear roads and clear skies, and I'm just like, is this real life? Is this December? And
We had our shorts on.
yeah, now it's just like, not going out there. Snowed in. We're being dramatically snowed in. It's like half a foot of snow.
We haven't gotten any snow yet, which if it's going to be cold, it needs to be snowy and pretty. Because right now it's just cold and ugly.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't work for me. But my youngest kid just started college, so I'm an adventurer by nature, and I just want to go around and hang out and visit beaches and write looking at the ocean, and yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
I learned it. 18 years with 2 boys.
Wow, okay, yeah. I mean, sorry, no offense. No. Yeah, I hear you. Wow, that's pretty amazing. I mean, this summer, I know we worked and we had a chance to hang out with you. You were always cold. That's like the one thing I remember about you, is that you were always like
She's working with her mittens on.
Yeah, you had your like fingerless mittens on. It was.
I have them somewhere around here. I use them here too.
That's awesome. I mean, that's a great story. Like I mean, you work hard. You've done a lot of things in your life. You get to write about something that you love as well, and it's really cool that you started out and funding your first business through poker. Like, I mean, that's a really great. I didn't know that about you. So, I mean, that's a really great a great start, and you get to do a bit of everything. So, what kind of places are you going to be traveling to? I know a little bit, but tell us some of your plans for next year.
Well, I will say it's a little overwhelming because
Yeah.
it's a really big world, and there's a lot of really amazing places. So obviously, I have been drawn to Mexico my entire life. I don't know if it's because of my proximity. I live in Arizona for most of my life, so I don't know if that's it, but I keep changing. I was going to start in Mexico. Actually, in February, I'm starting in San Diego. I am being a good daughter-in-law and going to help my mother-in-law start to clean out her house. So that's my month 1. I'm putting good karma out into the world. Then the plan was to go to Mexico, but I'm actually thinking of going to Argentina in March. There's a poker tournament going on there that I thought might be interesting just to go hang out at, maybe grab some stories, travel. I love
maybe win
Argentina.
a trophy.
Maybe win a trophy.
Yeah.
I think I should.
Why not? That would be such a nice feather in your cap.
I would be such a great interview. No.
You would know everything, like all the right things to say. You might even just write your own story.
Yeah, I'll just write it up.
Write your own winner story. Email it to the bloggers.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe Argentina, but then I watched this. So I've been watching all these travel shows, which is really bad because every time I watch one, I want to go there. So Roatan, Honduras it's like a little island off of Honduras.
Okay.
And so that might be stop number 1. But it's a little overwhelming because until I buy tickets,
yeah.
I just keep changing my mind every 5 minutes.
That's
which
okay.
Which is really exciting too.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting. But yeah, I can go anywhere.
Nice. Are you coming back to Vegas for the summer or what?
Well, I haven't been asked yet, so I don't know.
I don't think anyone has really. I don't think anything's really.
I don't know.
If you were asked, would you come back, or would that be like, something in the way of your plans?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I want to keep writing the muck, and the muck is so much fun to write during the series. But I'm hoping to sort of mix it up. Maybe not be there the whole series. Maybe go in for a few weeks because it is technically in the sun, so it would still.
There's very strong. The sun is very strong in Vegas during that time. It is like speaking in like degrees Celsius gets to like 45 degrees, which is absurd. We don't even
over 100 in Vegas.
We don't even get like
close
to that where we're at. So
yeah. Yeah, so that's a possibility. I would really love to travel with my kids, maybe to Europe this summer, is what we're thinking.
Nice.
Um, I have a lot of family in Italy, so I would love to spend some time there. But yeah, I don't know. It's all just gonna come together. I made a joke. I keep making the joke, nothing is firm until my tickets are purchased, and I
Yeah.
actually think that is going to be the motto of my next year.
Awesome.
So,
And you're going to be blogging throughout.
yeah,
your
if I can
adventures?
find some time.
Yeah.
When I sold the marketing business, I actually planned on taking December and January off.
Yeah.
But I also know that, freelance work is hit or miss. And so I started to put some feelers out into the universe, and all of this work came flooding in. And I
Nice.
just cannot say no
Okay.
to work, right?
What kind of work? What kind of writing are you going to be doing?
So I've been writing a little bit for US Poker as well as PokerNews. I did some more writing this month for PokerNews.
Yep.
I'm working for some business blogs are hiring me to maintain
Nice.
or manage their content, stuff like that.
Cool. Are you working with Jess Wellman at all, or
I
is
talked
she at
to
US
her.
Poker? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so she we we're with she's with the same company, but
Okay.
she just works on a different site.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we were just talking today about healthcare and the lowest. I'm like, it's okay, I'm leaving the country.
You guys have lots to talk about in your country.
Oh,
So maybe we won't get into politics,
we
but
don't
like,
need to go into that,
yeah.
but yeah.
that's awesome. Speaking of, oh, go ahead, take a sip, or well-earned sip of wine.
You can ask me questions while I sip.
Excellent. My next question was, you mentioned the muck. Speaking of the muck, for those who might not have seen your column on PokerNews.com, can you tell us a bit about it? And maybe once you're done that, tell us like your favorite, favorite story that you've written as an article in the muck.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Well, yeah,
So-
you have to pick one. So
So I will say that I wouldn't say I'm a traditional poker journalist like most. I feel like my voice is a little bit different than most others. I tend to bring a little bit of snark into my writing,
I like
which I
it.
love, which is me, which is my personality.
The poker pros need it. They need some like a little bit of fire lit under them, especially after like all the crap they give us on Twitter. So
Well,
yeah,
I
you need
try
to give it
not
right
be-
back. Give
yeah,
it right
well,
back.
I try not to be mean spirited about it.
Yeah.
I try to be fun about it. So, but yeah, I just take basically a lot of times I take their complaining and whining and turn it into a story. Is really what it comes out to, right?
Yeah.
Or things that are really funny, or poker fights, those kinds of things, and I turn it into a little bit more of a fun take. I will say I did a muck on, I don't know if you saw the whole Twitter feed. It's like all about racism, and people were,
Yeah.
it was, so I
Yeah.
wrote a muck on that. And it's funny because I had some requests to be interviewed on that story, and I turned them all down because actually that was a little bit too, I don't know, serious for my
Okay.
liking.
Yeah.
I couldn't, you can't really make fun at something that's so prevalent in society, and that I really felt like, a lot of players were being misrepresented, and I was, so I just didn't really want that to go any further. But for the most part, my columns are light and fun,
Nice.
and take a good look at some of just the things that happen in the heat of the moment, if you will. My favorite article to write, well, most of my favorite articles sort of write themselves. I will say, I'm not sure if this was a muck or what it was, but there was a hand between, God, I'm old and I can't remember things anymore. I should have prepared. Okay, so we won't use that as examples. I can't remember what I wrote about.
It can't be your favorite if you can't remember it.
But Doug Polk has been a really good source of fodder for
Yeah.
me and the muck. The funny thing is I'm coming out. I just wrote an article. It'll be coming out in the 10 best stories. It'll be on PokerNews over the holiday weeks.
Ah, nice.
On Doug Polk and how, you know, he won the one drop and the internet basically in the same year.
Yeah.
I tried to get him for an interview and he would not get back to me. I tweeted him, I emailed him,
Aw.
I emailed him about my tweets, I tweeted him about my emails. I tried to go
that
to
sucks.
Joey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, I give him a lot of good press. He owes me an interview. So maybe he'll follow up
Maybe
with me.
we'll harass him. We'll harass Doug Polk. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it.
I'm like, what's wrong with me? I'm nice.
Oh, yeah, you are nice.
But so I think one of my favorite things was I don't know if you saw when Doug Polk videoed the $15,000 cold 3-point shot from Phil Hellmuth
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite things. And then he just released that video that I also wrote about when the guy showed his cards and went to the pre-flop, made the bet call and everything with one of his cards exposed and played with his card exposed.
Oh, no way. I didn't see
His
that.
advice to poker players, don't do that.
Yeah.
So those kinds of things they're just fun to write because, I mean, I think one of the things we all saw this summer was how, I mean, this is going to sound terrible, but how boring poker has got, right?
Absolutely.
It's just become so boring. Players aren't talking anymore.
Yeah.
And I realize that there is huge amounts of money on the table, but you look at somebody like Daniel Negreanu, who is playing for that amount of money, and he still has a way of being somewhat personable.
Yeah, for sure.
So the whole make poker fun again hashtag is really something that I like to bring to my writing as much as I can. I consider myself a rambler, both in speech
Yeah.
and on the keyboard. So
It sounds like you need to come to Run It Up Reno because honestly, it is hands down of all the series that I've worked. I've been fortunate enough to work pretty much all of them now, at least once. And Run It Up Reno is the most fun. It's the one it's the one series where I'm just like, you know, like I wouldn't mind not, you know, giving up working it and playing it. And I went to Jason in October and I was like, so what if like in April I came and played? He's like, Aaliyah, if there's maybe some events you want to play, we'll work around it. He basically said no.
no, you must work.
Like he's never ever gonna obviously force me to work, but it's kind of nice to hear because, you know, he wants me back and stuff like that, which is obviously cool. I love the Run It Up team, but man, I wish I could just play every event. It got me like, you know, pretty much into mixed games in general. Like I've always played BLO for the most part. You know, I've dabbled in like some of the other like 8-game and stuff like that, but I've never really actually sat down and wanted to play a tournament. And the atmosphere there is so much fun. You should see it. Like the rail, like on the final table, every final table has a massive rail. It is just huge and everyone's cheering and like everybody's wearing Run It Up gear because he also has this like last warrior standing where last person left in a tournament wears wearing Run It Up gear wins a $600 ticket to the main. And it's like, it's unbelievable, like the atmosphere there, and it is the most fun I've ever seen any series, you know. And it's just so different when a couple months later I go to the World Series and I'm just walking around and I'm just like, all you hear are chips. Like you don't hear talking, you don't hear any of that stuff. So
I know.
yeah, you need to come to Reno and do some pieces out there because honestly, Jess Woman came. I believe I worked with her last April, and she's like, "Oh my god, this is so much fun." So if you could ever make it out there, it would be fantastic.
Maybe I'll just come and play.
Honestly, come and play. Reno's not that far from where you're at, right?
Well, it depends on where I am.
Okay.
Come on.
That's true. That's true. So is your house still going to be in Arizona, or?
No. So when we've been back in Arizona for a little over 2 years
Okay.
from Thailand. So we came back from Thailand so that my boys could graduate with their classes
Okay.
from high school. And so we just rented. So we're not tied into anything, which is
Nice.
amazing.
That's great.
So yeah, so we're pretty much out of here, mid to late January somewhere, just depending on, got to get the kids back. One kid back to university. We think the other's heading over to China to teach.
Wow. Yeah. Nice.
And just get everybody situated, and then we start our fun.
That sounds so amazing. That is so great. I mean, yeah, we know you from PokerNews, and honestly, like that was, it was my first year really with PokerNews this year fully. Like the year I did it some the year before, but nothing to this capacity. So it's kind of like, getting to know everyone and whatnot. But yeah, that's great. Adam, I've been kind of yakking because I know you and I hung out quite a bit in summer, so I was like, I have so many things I want to ask her.
I need a story. That's all you heard from me all summer.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I wanted to maybe get you to talk about, because I know you wrote about it, and I was a little bit involved in it actually, but was from the past summer between Maurice Hawkins and Tim Riley.
Oh, yeah.
I know that was probably one of your biggest stories of the summer, right?
It was pretty good. I will say I'm lucky enough to write content that people like to read, so I get good traffic to my stories, I think. But that story blew up. And when I said earlier how things write themselves, this is a perfect example. Literally, I turned on my recorder and got both sides of their stories, and then I just did the he said format
awesome.
to the article. Writing it, I kept like, well, I don't, I started thinking, I don't want him to get mad. I'm like, no, these are his words. I'm not even, I just let them tell the story.
Right.
I just transcribed a lot of minutes of audio because, as you can imagine, Maurice went on for probably like 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And boy, did that take forever to transcribe. So then I went and I was able to use what he said and ask some follow-up questions, and then of course got the responses. It was a really crazy situation. I will say that, as with anything, I think when you're writing a story, the truth lies somewhere in between.
Yep.
And it was, that kind of stuff I just don't get. That kind of trash talking at the table, and I think they were both guilty of it. I don't know who started it or who threw the first punch, and honestly I don't really care. But that stuff is so bad for poker when that kind of behavior, in my opinion, is being exhibited. But I understand the heat of the moment too. You try to be respectful of that as well. I don't know. It was I always hate when Brett put me on these stories where I had to go get interviews with Maurice, or whatever, when people are getting knocked out. I always had to go do it right after they got knocked out. It's the worst.
It is. It's pretty hard to be like, hey, how you doing? Just got knocked out. What kind of question is that?
So how does that feel?
Yeah.
Because I think I'm going to kind of like describe it for the people that are listening and that may not know, but I think what happened was that Maurice Hawkins and Tim Riley were in, I'm not even sure what tournament it was. I think it was a bigger tournament though.
The marathon.
Marathon tournament, yeah.
The marathon, yeah.
And they were sitting on the same table with each other, and what happened was Tim Riley made a bad call in Maurice's opinion, I think, and he ended up making the best hand, and Maurice started giving him some table talk, and I think
such a nice way of saying it, giving him some table talk.
Tim Riley countered with, this isn't the circuit.
Oh no, he said go back to the circuit.
Go back to the circuit.
Or something like that.
Yeah. And then he made a t-shirt that says, this ain't the circuit. Not this isn't the circuit, this ain't the circuit. Oh, so good.
So between the two of them, there was some shots fired on the table, and I I think they played with each other right down to the final two tables of that tournament. So
They both made the final table.
yeah.
Actually, they both made the final table, and I remember the last day, it was like a 5-day tournament, I think.
Yeah.
I forget, 5 or 6, and the last day it was like final 2 tables, and they had to actually call security to get them to just calm the hell down. And then
it was right after that I think I was interviewing him right after after security was called.
Oh wow! Okay.
Like really. Why me?
So funny.
I'm a girl. People don't get as mad at girls, I was told.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm going to bug Brett about that.
No.
You're on camera. This is recording.
I know. He said that totally jokingly.
No, for sure.
And it is.
It's a fact. It is like...
And I'm old. That works in my favor as well. So I'm not like a young kid, right?
I hope Brett didn't say that to you, though.
I have wrinkles and gray hair.
I hope Brett didn't say, Kim, you're an old lady. Go. I just hope for his sake. Oh, it'd be really funny.
No. But, so I think it was after, because didn't Maurice got knocked out first, right?
Yeah.
He finished in 9th or something, yeah. 9th or 10th.
So it was right after he got knocked out that I got his side of the story.
Oh my god. Right when they bust, that's crazy.
And his, I'm not sure if it's girlfriend, wife.
Yeah, his wife, yeah, April.
His wife was there.
Oh,
and
okay.
super sweet. I mean, honestly,
she's really nice. She like basically almost every tournament, because I work this circuit a lot this year, and I'm going to be, working a lot next year as well, and I know pretty much every stop I'm going to see both of them. She's always there on the rail. Even on day ones, she's there. It's like, she's super supportive of him and really, really nice.
And he was actually really very nice as well.
Yeah.
He obviously had a lot to say. He has a lot to say about a lot of things, though, so I don't think that was unique.
Yeah, he likes to talk. It's awesome.
And then Tim got knocked out, like in third or
fourth, yeah.
He went really deep, yeah.
So it was after his knockout that I got his side of the story.
Wow.
So it was after everything that led up to the explosive call security moment was when I got both sides of the story.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
that's funny.
And it was crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I mean this was been a pretty interesting summer overall, as PokerNews. There's a lot of stuff that happened that was just like entertaining.
Crazy stuff.
It's always something, but
yeah.
It's funny, you can go so many days with just nothing and it's boring and you're looking for something, and then all of a sudden, it just comes out of the blue where you just find something
and then
that's
you're just,
gold.
like exhausted because all you're like writing. Yeah. It's such a long grind. I don't think, as long as it is for poker players, it's, I think, longer for us.
Yeah.
Because, we start before they start, we end after they end. We're usually working when they're taking breaks.
Yeah. We don't get breaks.
Yeah, breaks? What's that?
Yeah.
And it's, so it's a really long grind. And like I said, I'm old, so I just don't know how much this old body wants to do 7 weeks of, 12, 14, 16-hour days again.
Fair enough.
But we'll see. We'll see what they offer, because usually they always know exactly. I draw a line before we ever talk, right? You draw the line. Over's a yes, under's a no. If it's around the middle, you negotiate.
Yeah.
They always come in over. Always. And it pisses me off because I want to say no. I'm just kidding.
That's funny. That's funny. Nice.
So,
I do want to have your get your opinion on a lot of the stuff. This was more earlier last year when Kate Hall got the award for best female player. This year is Kristen Bicknell, but last year there was a lot of controversy because Kate Hall went up to the podium and said, I accept this award, but I don't really want it. Paraphrasing, but she's basically like, the reason I don't want it is, I'd rather be considered equal. There shouldn't, she doesn't believe that there should be, an award for women in poker. And I kind of feel like I like getting a lot of women, that are in poker. I like getting their take on it because I think it's super interesting. I have my own opinions on it. Kristen coming in, I really love that Kristen won it this year. I mean, obviously, aside from being well deserved, we are massive Kristen Bicknell fans.
Me too.
I met her 2 years ago, and we just kind of it's just super nice. And just really good for poker. And interestingly enough, with her sponsorship with Party Poker, I actually interviewed her for PokerNews earlier last year, and one of her the interesting things she said was, I could have been sponsored by other companies, but I was just waiting for something that fit what I was looking for. And unfortunately for a lot of poker players, it's really tough because they're waiting for a lot of people are waiting for sponsorships, and when they get one, it's really hard to turn down when there's no other options, because the industry is so dry in that sense right now. It's like they're getting Usain Bolt and Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart. It's like,
there you go.
I can see him in my head. Kevin Hart for sponsored. They're not even poker players, but that's who they're getting to market poker now, and so it's crazy. But I just want to know your take on, how do you feel as a woman in poker, and especially the fact that you can't, funded your business out of poker. What are your thoughts on that? And I personally think awards are really important, especially for women, and we make up 5% tops of the industry. So.
Yeah, well, I think the average tournament field is around 3%.
Yeah, 3 to 5. Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing, because I grew up, and there were no women in the poker room when I started playing poker, right? So that wasn't even an option. And I will say the first ladies event that I ever played was the most frustrating event ever of my entire life. And I'm like, I'm never playing against the women ever.
I love it.
Oh my God. Oh, I have the hands written down somewhere. Oh, it is a story in all of its own. We have come a long way. So here's what I have two different sides that I bring to this argument, because I'm a business person and a marketer. And as a marketer, you do what you need to do to attract new players to the game. And you're never going to attract new players if the only new female players, which really is an untapped market, right? If you're only holding up men, you're just not. So from a marketing perspective, you have to celebrate more women accomplishments. And let's be real, there are women awards in a lot of different industries. There are women of business awards. There are women. So I think it's necessary. I also think it does allow those women that have skills to talk about how they evolved from being a woman player to being a player. And the thing about Kristen is, so I actually covered the ladies event that she won in, was it, I think it's 2013 or
2013,
whatever.
Yeah, 2013.
So my first summer.
She 2013, 2016. Yeah.
I covered that event. And she is the exact same person, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is everyone says her bracelet was legitimized when she won her second bracelet, right? And I feel like that is not really fair, because again, ladies events are different in just a different type of way. And the thing about poker is every game is unique to the players that you play. And it's the players that have skill, regardless of, that are going to stand out. So to navigate a field of women, I don't think a man can do it, which is why when men enter, every year they do, I don't get it, but they do.
Yeah.
They don't get the prize because they don't know how to adjust their game. So every game, every table by nature is a different game in of itself, and people need to recognize that. I think honoring women is fine. I also think not playing in women's events is fine, but I don't think you should get on a stage, on a platform, and sort of negate the work that women have done to get recognized on such a platform. I just think it only helps to grow the game overall. If you choose not to play women's events or choose not to have that accolade, you should have denied that award prior. You should have withdrawn your name from the nomination list.
Yeah, for sure.
To me, that would have been a better statement than to go up there and accept the award without really accepting it. I think that was a little unfair. But with that said, I don't disagree with some of the things she has to say about it either. I just think that whatever we can do I think poker needs to figure out how to get more women in the game if they want to continue to grow their player pools, because that's the untapped resource right now. And they need to do whatever they can to make it attractive for women to come into the game without feeling, without having self-image problems and feeling insecure. And for instance, I get so mad at my mom because she plays slots. It drives me friggin' nuts.
Is she watching right now?
I don't know. But I show those pretty lights, that's what you're paying for, right? So I tried to bring her into the poker room to teach her poker. And, you have these guys that are just rude, and there's not a lot of other women, so she doesn't feel comfortable. So it really opened your eyes to why women don't do that.
Yeah.
I just think we need more bigger women's voices in the game.
Yeah, I agree.
So whatever we can do to up that percentage.
Yeah.
From a marketing standpoint, when I talk about email open rates, every small percentage of an increase equals a certain amount of more money, and that's the same here. So you work on increasing it from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6, and you keep doing things, but all the advertising is male centric.
Yeah.
Most of the writing that I do, I'm a woman, and most of the writing that I do is male centric.
Yeah.
And it's because that's who's in the rooms right now, that's who's sitting at the tables. Mm-hmm. So until somebody's willing to invest in putting new voices out there, to maybe not great reception for a while until that starts to build, I don't know that it's going to change.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of why I was pretty excited that Chrissy was free to come on next week. We have you on today. We had D Moon Girl and Jamie on Monday, which was like really funny. Unfortunately, like D Moon was in the Bellagio, so it was like super loud, and then Jamie Christer was really low because she was on her phone and her computer wasn't working. So like we just today I figured out how to clip just sections of the Twitch broadcast. So I clipped the 2 interviews from yesterday and the day before, and I'm gonna do the same for the rest of them. But, and then Jen Shahade, and I'm most excited for Jen, not because I'm playing favorites, but because she's one of the few female poker players now that I just really admire that I have not had a chance to speak to yet. So, and plus she's really good at open-faced Chinese poker, and it's like my favorite game. So
I just wrote an article about her.
Yeah, and you know what? I was before Friday. I haven't even had any time to read, because she's done a few interviews. She interviewed with you, and she has like 1 or 2 more that she's done in the last couple weeks. So I'm actually going to be reading them all before we get to Friday, because lots been going on in her life. But I really can't wait to speak with her, because she's just such a force. She's like a super genius. And
I'm a huge fan.
So good for poker. So I'm really excited that, I was actually a little bit worried because I sent her a DM and stuff, and then she didn't respond, and she had something going on one of those days, like something on Twitter happened or whatever. So she was busy, and then she liked one of my, she liked the PokerNews article. So I just responded. I was like, Jen, I DM'd you. It's like, please get, I really wanted to have her on, just because I know there's just so much that, so many important things that, we could talk about with her, but she's just such an amazing person. I've never spoken to her before, but from what I've seen and, some of the interviews I've seen, and her
she
presence in poker is just fantastic. So I'm really excited.
Her critical thinking process to me is, out of this world. I would love to live inside her brain for a little bit. Just
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot in there that I might not even understand. So so I'm pretty excited. Hopefully you'll have a chance to tune in then. If not, though, we'll have.
I've been trying to pop in.
Yeah. No, we've seen you. We kind of look at the viewers list because they're not really that long. but it's tough. We're a brand new channel, and the Twitch world is really different from the live poker world, where It's just so we're kind of pulling in people from Facebook and Twitter, and it's been really awesome that we've raised over $3,000 already.
I know. I'm so
I can't.
First of all,
yeah,
honored that you guys like are letting my name to even like be here. But you know, it's really. I think I said something that's so great to see the force of good going on out there, and it's not even just you guys. It's just when you see something like this happening, we just need more good stories like this, in my opinion. And I was so thrilled that Valerie wrote a great article for you guys. And
that was awesome.
Yeah, I just think what you guys are doing is amazing, and yeah, so that's that.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We've put a lot of. It's like been just like. I think for the most part, our woes have been technical based. Like, we're just like, what the hell is going on? Like, I was like cursing, and I'm like, what the F is this? Like, I don't understand why this is not working. Like, some of the things that stopped working make no sense at all. Like, just like something would disappear, and I have no idea why, and I just like so frustrated. Adam's like, this is gone. I'm like, oh, like, why? So I think that's the biggest, like, the biggest hurdle we've had to kind of go over. Like, a friend of mine is renting this condo out because I don't live anywhere. So I was kind of like, I need a place to like situate.
You and me.
Yeah, I know. I'll just follow you around. But like for a week before, I kind of like I moved in a week early, or maybe in a bit more, and I kind of just got situated. I needed to like relax because it's been a really long year of traveling with work, and it's been really tiring. So I kind of needed to relax, and I kind of slowly started to get into it. Adam came and it's been a really big help, and it's just like, and then it's like contacting people, and then I realized after the PokerNews article came out, we had four people locked up for guests, and it literally more than doubled, like almost tripled. I think we have like a total. Actually, we just added somebody. I can't really say who it is yet because we have to nail down time to make sure that he is free. But like, I was like really excited.
Red hair? Somebody said red hair somewhere.
No, that's not a thing. No, it's a male. And it's a male. So, anyways, so he's going to be coming on. I'm pretty sure we'll make it work, but I'm really excited. This is going to be like our 12th guest, I believe, for the week. And we possibly could have, like, we had Philip Grusium, who, messaged and he said he wanted to come on. So we possibly could have, like, a ton more, but it's just been so overwhelming to, like, coordinate times and then get the video. Like, I'm not, like, I know my way around computers a good chunk, but not this. Like, we had Jamie Kerstetter message us, and she's like, "Hey, I'd love to be on with D-Moon Girl." I'm like, "Okay, that'd be awesome." And then I paused, and I'm like, "Holy I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? I don't have any clue how to get multiple people on, let alone one person on." Like, it was just, I'm like, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna make it work. So then, the power of Google and like testing and like, poor Adam was in the bathroom with like his laptop and his headphones.
Okay, we don't need to go there.
Yeah, we were just testing stuff out with him in a different room. So it was like, it's been really crazy, but it's been so worth it. Like, the end of the first day, we had almost $2,000, and we were just like, oh my God, we're exhausted, but it was so worth it.
Over 2,000. I did that.
You helped. You definitely did. We appreciate your donation. It was, and just being here and helping in the RTs and everything that people have been doing. Whether I know it's the holidays and stuff, but RTs and comments and likes, like, everything's helping. So it's putting at least the post and the link on the map, and it's been really amazing. So hopefully, we're hoping to get to like 5K before the weekend, because we're taking the weekend off. We're taking Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We're coming back for 24-hour stream on the 26th. So we're starting at 6 p.m. our time, 5 p.m. your time, I guess. And we're going for 24 hours. We have four guests. And
nice.
We're going to have 4 guests, and we're just going to be up for 24 hours, hopefully. Hopefully we don't pass out at the table, but...
So you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you're off Saturday, Sunday, Monday?
Yeah, we're off for Christmas.
So 3 days, $5,000. Yeah. So you only need 2 more thousand.
That's right.
We need, almost 19. Yeah.
So doable.
Let's
go. So we're trying. Patrick Serta's coming on tomorrow, and he's matching everything up to $5,000. So, I mean, I'm hoping we can I'm kind of telling people, I'm like, just come on Thursday. I was
Come
like,
on
let's
Thursday and
punish
donate.
Serta. Let's get some of those,
Okay.
that 10K WQ high roller money. So we're trying to get to 5K by the weekend, and then, we'll have a good Christmas. We'll relax. We'll come back to it on 26th, refreshed, and we're just going to go for 24 hours. And basically, I know all the profits that we're making here online, playing online and stuff, we're going to donate as well. It probably won't be very much. We're playing small stakes, but it'll be something, hopefully we can round it off or somehow. And then on top of that, so basically if we get to 5K, Dan Smith is doubling it. So if we get to 5K, he's doubling everything until the end of December for anyone who donates to Reg Charity or 10 other major charities. So
Go people!
like we could potentially have 10K raised, right, by the weekend, and
Amazing.
that would just be insane. And hopefully
How does that make you feel?
It's awesome.
It's amazing.
Honestly,
yeah.
I was in Punta Cana just for the event that they had there for the party poker event, and I ran into Martin Jacobson, and that's how we kind of got him on yesterday. And talking to him a little bit about Reg Charity, I came home and I messaged him and I said, "How do I sign up for Reg Charity? Like, I'm going to play some tournaments.
Yeah.
I want some Reg Charity patches, and I'm going to donate some of my winnings to Reg Charity," because it was kind of like a charity that I kind of I got attracted to it, right? Like,
Yeah.
the stuff that they do, the efficiency of it, it's just awesome, right? Like, so,
Yeah.
and that was before we even came up with this idea. So then Aaliyah had kind of mentioned to me she wanted to do a charity stream. I said, let's do it for Reg Charity. And she said, that's what I wanted to do. So it was just kind of it kind of all came together that we were doing it for Reg Charity.
So weird, yeah.
It's awesome that it's just succeeding so well.
And he said
right
Martin
now.
Jacobson. I'm like, yeah. Because see, like my vision basically was, I've had this thought has been in my head for probably a better part of the year. And I was like, I want to do this. But everything just kind of kept getting in the way because it's really hard when you get all these offers for work and stuff and it works and you just can't say no because it's life, right? You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to turn down several thousands of dollars just, to go on Twitch to raise money. But it's it would be nice to, make that money and then be able to, come back and donate some of it and then have a good chunk of time. So I was like, you know what? The Christmas month is really slow. My family doesn't really celebrate Christmas. So I do with my friends. So we're going to my friend's place on Sunday or whatever. But just in general, I was like, let's just take originally I wanted to go for 2 weeks. I was like, this is gonna be awesome. I'm just gonna stream every day for and then I was like, wait a sec. I'm like, that seems really long. So I'm like, how about we just do and I'm thinking people are not gonna be around, over Christmas. So let's just do Monday to Friday. We'll take Christmas off, then we'll end it with a 24-hour stream, which was inspired by Lane Anderson's 24-hour stream. He, I don't know if you remember that, he did it for the Sick Kids Hospital a few months ago, and he did a 24-hour Twitch stream. You look lost.
I'm trying to get my husband to get me more wine.
Oh.
Hold on. There's another bottle right there. Sorry.
Just give her the bottle. That's funny.
I was trying to do it so slyly. I was listening though.
I was watching your eyes. I'm like, I wonder if something's wrong. I was like,
I can do more than one thing at a time.
But yeah, so that was kind of what we were thinking. And Lane Anderson had a 24-hour stream a few months ago, and I was so inspired. I went to sleep, woke back up, and he was still there. And then I went to sleep again the next day, and he was still on. I was like, what?
Amazing, wasn't it?
That was crazy.
Oh,
and so I thought, you know what? Why don't we end the stream with a 24-hour? End it with a bang. We're just gonna keep going and going. We're gonna be on Twitch for a really long time. I'm gonna tweet the hell out of it. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna keep going. I don't care if people keep seeing it over and over. If they see it, they're bored. Anyone who pops in and wants to donate is cool. If not, whatever. It is what it is. We're gonna have 4 amazing guests though, so I'm hoping it spreads out nicely.
Yeah.
And Andrew Barber said he's matching all donations again, which he matched on Monday. So he's gonna go up to 10K, he says, and so let's just drain him.
I think.
See, I think. Oh, go ahead, Adam.
Oh, I was just gonna say we're gonna have it's gonna be a stream house that we have in here. We have some more friends coming over that are gonna.
Yeah, we're just all gonna be in the
We're gonna make some food and some drinks, and it's just gonna be a fun time.
We're gonna be in the same house. There's gonna be 6 of us, probably 5 or 6, and we're just gonna go and we're gonna all have our computers Yeah. I don't think I could do that because I'll be passed out too quickly, but we'll have probably some energy drinks, some coffee. We'll have all our computers out. We'll have our laptops out. We'll have it out on Twitch.
I wish I was in Canada.
Oh, I know. But you know what? Tune in, say hello. I had Shirley on. She's in Malta, and Shirley's been awesome for the past 2 days. We were on. So we went on Skype and we played OFC. You probably saw a little bit of it.
Yeah.
It's been so hilarious because we've just been like, we're like, oh, like she would beat me in something. I'm like, oh, whatever, it's for charity, you know, like so. You know, we were just having a blast, and hopefully we'll just keep having fun and raising money. By the end of the day, we're just dead. Like, you know, we turn off the stream, we're like, wow, like it's so hard to stay on for 8 hours. So I have mad respect for people who do this day in and day out for, like, you know, some streamers go for like 12, 14 hours. So huge respect to them who do this for a living, but hell no. Like, I just can't do it. It's so much fun for, like, you know, a week.
Well, you know, it's finite. The time, it's amount of time.
Yeah.
You know, when you're done, you can go crash.
Yeah. Oh, just gonna pass right out. We just eat, we stuff our faces for like 10 solid minutes, and we're just like, oh,
That's
I'm out.
awesome.
Like, just saunter off to the bed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I guess when you first started thinking about this as an idea, so this is the journalist in me because I'm really curious as to how this all came about.
Yeah.
What were your goals going into this?
Well, so the reason why I came up with this is because, so when I was younger, I think probably when I was 8 is when I started like doing a lot of volunteer work in my community, and I lived in Ontario, on the East Coast, and I did a lot of up to when I was 16, I was like the youngest. I was leading like a volunteer group, you know, helping the elderly and like raising money and, you know, stuff like that. So I did that until I like, you know, went to university, and then it all just changed. It's not that I forgot about it, but I was just like, oh, I don't have time. And then I worked in finance for a long time, and I you know, got into poker, which is a massive story in itself, and it's going to take forever for me to tell, but a really good story. So it's been a really good change in my life where I've found something that I really enjoy. Like, I go to work and it's not work for me. So, you know, aside from the fact that it's physically taxing a lot of days because you're on your feet all day, but I absolutely love what I do. And I was thinking, I was like, it's been a really great year. Like, I need to give back somehow. I need to use, you know, my voice kind of thing, and social media presence, and the people that I know in the community to try to raise money. Because New Red Charity was something that I wanted to get involved in. I had already like, you know, pledged for 3% or whatever, but I hadn't played yet after I pledged. So I kind of just was like, okay, next tournament, you know, or next, you know, session or whatever. But, and then I thought, you know, I was thinking about goals, and I said to myself, I don't want to really set something, you know, like, because Layton had like a set goal on his screen. I didn't really want to set one. I kind of just wanted to just keep plugging. And because I kind of just wanted to just keep going and firing at it and not be, you know, disappointed or whatever if we didn't get to our goal. But I do have some of my own like secret goals that I'm hoping we hit. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have very many goals in terms of monetary value, but I did have the goal of having, getting some pros involved. I did not think there would be 12 amazing people in the industry, potentially more, that would be on our stream. Like, it was just, I still can't believe that this is a thing. Like, I mean, it's, you know, we don't have many viewers at a time, but the fact that people know that we're here and they're just like, give me the donation link, you know, and when the pros are on is basically peak time of when we get donations, which is totally fine. The rest of the time, Adam and I are playing poker and trying to make money ourselves to donate. So, you know, when we're on with the guests, that's when we try to get donations. Most of them, actually all of them so far, have like double donations. That's not great. That they have to do it, but like, you know, they have been doing that. So then they retweet, and then people see that they're going to be on, and they come onto the chat and whatever. So it's kind of nice. And the rest of the time, we just, you know, we're firing away at, you know, what we do best. He's been playing sit and goes in tournaments. I love cash games. I play open face. You know, so we're just trying to make money outside of when we don't have the guests on, because people also are going to get sick of seeing like the same post over and over, where, you know, whereas if we just say, hey, like so-and-so's on in a bit, they're like, okay, maybe I can make some time to go on there. But yeah, no hard monetary goals or anything. Just wanted to have as many people involved as possible. And the response has been crazy. Like, just people are messaging me left, right, and center. They're just like, this is amazing, great job. Like, I can't believe you had this person on, you know. So, yeah.
Is this going to be an annual event?
You know what?
It might be.
It might have to be, because I feel like as time goes on, if we keep this channel, like, for example, you know, the highlights from the interviews we posted on YouTube, and if we can keep the channel, maybe we even start a Twitter account or something and just get followers. If we build the channel over time, people who are following it will eventually see it, and we can have a calendar or something. Who knows? Like, you know, it'd be really nice. But, like, the thing is, it's kind of expensive to have, like, you know, I don't have a place. Like, I don't have a house or anything, so it's not like I can just go and, you know, just stream from anywhere. So maybe, like, we can, you know, there's something we can work out eventually over time, but I would like it.
If you decide to do it next year, I will be your marketing director.
Nice. Done.
And we will put together I'm a planner, which Brett also makes fun of me as, because, you know, planning poker, not necessarily gelling, but I'll be your marketing director next year, and we'll our goal will be to beat this year.
I love it. You know what? Book it, because I had such a blast doing this. I think that we should do it. Yeah. I think we're pretty funny. I mean, like, you know what I mean? It's not like I think we're pretty funny. I mean, I feel like you know, Adam and I, we do the same thing. We go and we write about poker. We interact with people in person. Adam watches a lot more Twitch than I do, but I never really knew what people want to see, what to expect, stuff like that. So I think with some more research and maybe, you know, getting some more things involved on Twitch, where we can get more of the Twitch community involved on top of the pros and, like, people in our everyday life, I think that would be great. So I book it from now. I would love to just, like, do this again just before Christmas, and, you know, 24-hour stream. We'll see how it goes, see how miserable we are by the end of it. But I could get pretty grumpy when I haven't had food or sleep. So,
well, you don't have to go without food.
Yeah. Well, the first day we just, like, forgot to eat. Like, we ate before the stream started, and then we went basically all day, and then 8 hours passed, and I was like, holy crap, I am starving. I think I ate, like, 4 pieces of chicken. Like, it was, like, absolutely crazy. But we're planning more.
Go hang out with Shirley in Malta or someplace warm next.
Yeah.
Shirley, we're coming to Malta. Honestly, Shirley's been awesome. We have to involve her somehow. For sure.
Because I love her too. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, Shirley's awesome.
She made me. I laughed all the time.
She is, like, so great.
I know. She cracks me up. But yeah, like, let's go to a warm place, and I'll be in person.
Oh my god, let's do it. We'll take the charity stream to, like, a different destination every Christmas. It's a destination stream.
We can do I have a whole marketing plan now.
Oh, man.
She's got it in her head.
I'm so excited.
Where's Waldo leading up? We can keep the secret location, and we can send out clues.
So
my god!
Amazing. It has to be in a place, though, where we can stream Poker Stars and all our online poker. But yeah, honestly, book it now. You're hired. We can't really pay much or at all. We'll get you wine.
For charity.
But yeah, honestly, I was thinking about that earlier. I'm like, I can't imagine not doing this next year. Like, you know, we can't just do it once. We need to build our channel. Like, we need to get, like, you know, I need to get better at Twitch. I'm the worst. Like, I keep muting myself, and, like, Adam's like, you've been on mute. I'm like, crap. But we'll get it.
I watched Twitch, and I watched you on the first day, right?
Yeah.
And then I went to make a comment, and they're like, you need to create an account. And I'm like, what? All this time. So I go create an account.
Yeah.
And then I put a comment in, and it took like 30 minutes. Like, I don't know how long the delay is, but it took forever.
Oh,
to
yeah.
comment. And I'm like, why is it so long?
Yeah, we had a 5-minute delay. We decreased it to 3, because I don't think we need that long for the games that we're playing. But yeah, it's mostly for the integrity of the game, so people don't, like.
No, and I get that. I mean,
yeah.
Actually, I know that.
Yeah.
So once I realized why it was happening, I'm like, oh. But at first, I'm like, you have a really bad delay.
Yeah.
I wanted to type that. I'm so glad I didn't.
5 minutes is a long time, though. Like, is definitely a long time.
But she's not saying hi to me. I feel so
sad. No, we appreciated that. Honestly, I would just book it now. Book it off. Like, just it's done. Let's just go somewhere and just have an awesome charity stream. And yeah, LFG.
So both of you guys have been pretty high in demand to cover events. Like, you could have probably worked nonstop without a break all year.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to take the break and do this?
Personally, I've had like a super busy year. Adam, I was really happy to bring him on this summer. He actually brought it up to me last year. He's like, I'd be interested, blah, blah, blah. Brought him to Deerfoot Casino, which is in Calgary, actually, where we're at now. And he did a little bit of it. He's like, yeah, I like it. And like, Adam's like the kind of person, you can't really tell sometimes. He's just like, sometimes he just comes across as it, like, he's,
Yes.
like, he's like very like simple, like he doesn't really have any expressions. Whereas I just like, you could see if I'm like pissed, it. You know what I mean? But whereas Adam, he's just, I couldn't tell. I was like,
a lot of times I'm very sarcastic and you don't know I'm being sarcastic.
Or like,
I've always known that about you.
Or on the other end though, if, when he's being serious about it, you just can't tell if he like means it or he's just trying to be nice or whatever, So I was like, maybe he hates it and just like, yeah, it's cool. Like, so eventually I'm like, okay. So then I contacted him to come help me out with another event. Luckily they had a bit of a budget so I could, he ended up working it with Elron, who's in the chat. Lyle, you worked with Lyle, right?
No,
John. You worked with John. Sorry, I'm confusing my PokerNews guys. John Harnish, who he worked with, and who actually was doing this before I was in Canada. But so I brought him on, and then I introduced them to Frank. Him and another guy. I don't know why that came up. I'm just like, my brain's all over. So I introduced Adam.
Until next week.
Yeah. I'm going to sleep for a week. So I introduced him to Frank, and Frank was like, okay, well, if you're, vouching for him, I trust you, brought Adam on. Then we went to Montreal together, and I was like, holy crap, like, you're good at this. And he's like, yeah, I really like it, and brought him on for the summer. We shared a house together, and we like hung out at the pool all the time. Like, it was great. Like, I mean, we crushed it though. Working together we worked so many final tables together, and we just like, it was one of those things where you didn't have to like ask or tell each other, like, oh, have you done this? It was just done. Or like, it was just kind of like, not so much completing each other's thoughts, but it was just like, we knew what had to be done, and we kind of like split the work kind of thing. And, when one would do the, the recap, we would help the other out and like just get like, notables and payouts and blah, blah, blah. So we worked really well together. And then the year kind of changed a bit for me because I had, from the year before, I talked to Rob Kirshen from WSOP about working some circuits. And so he brought me on for some of those, and they kind of started to work a bit better for my schedule. And some of them were a lot shorter. I worked 3.5 weeks in Montreal right after the series, basically, and I was just so drained. I'm like, I can't do another long thing again. Like, it just was too much. So the most I work is like 12-day circuit events now, and I'm traveling the circuit. So I'm kind of sticking to that right now. It's working a bit better for my schedule, and anytime I can get on for a PokerNews event, I will. And so my next, my first half of the year is completely booked, which is really nice. It's the first time into my third year, and it's really nice to have that. But
yeah,
hopefully that also means that Adam will just be working a ton of PokerNews stuff, and like, he's just crushing it. He's just really, it's kind of nice to see someone else really like something as much as I do. I mean, he's just like loving the travel and stuff like that. So we're just enjoying it. Yeah,
I got to go to Europe for 3 weeks, for almost a month actually, and it's my first time in Europe, so I had a ton of fun over there. And I came back and spent 9 days in Punta Cana. Yeah. And there wasn't a whole lot going on in, like, especially North America in December. So that's kind of why I had, for the most part, December off. Mm-hmm. And this time slot kind of worked perfect. We were kind of thinking about having like the holiday theme and raising money. And it's the kind of, 'tis the season for giving, right?
Yeah,
it kind of worked well for us.
When I was in Thailand, I did a couple of APPTs.
Okay.
So
nice.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you guys get the chance to do some APPTs, They are the best.
I've heard, yeah, I've heard really good things.
The best.
Well, I guess that's all coming back next year, right? Like this year, I went to like the PCA, I went to Panama, and I went to Chile, which were the three like completely brand new places that I've never been. And then I've been to like a couple of other places in the States that for the first time. I go to Reno twice a year for Jason Somerville's events, and so it's really cool that there's a few events now that I just continually go to. Adam, I believe, is going to PCA in January. I have an overlap with the circuit, so unfortunately I can't go. But yeah, I mean it's really been really great. So I'm just gonna work the circuit, and I'm actually most probably like taking the summer off. So I think I'm taking the summer off to probably play a little bit. Go to Vegas a little bit later because I also can't be in the States for more than 6 months at a time. Being
you foreigner.
Canadian. Exactly. Why can't you just adopt me?
I wish that was my status. Like, I'm sorry, you need to leave now.
Oh, yeah, I know. So it's one of those things where we'll probably still share a house this summer, I think, but I will not be working. So, yeah, I think that's probably my thing for next year. I want to do a bit more playing, and yeah, I really like the charity aspect. I wouldn't mind like talking to Matt Stout or something like that because he does the charity series of poker. I met him in Vegas, so I was just working there a few months ago for the circuit. He's such a nice guy. He's just like
I interviewed him before his event that he was holding in Vegas because he holds one sometime during the series.
Right.
Yeah. What a nice guy. Again, amazing.
Yeah.
And I love hearing about the motivations behind why people do what they do.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that's also really lacking in our community that people don't get a view into is how much good our players do, right? Like I call them our players, like they're how much good they do. It was interesting because after the Vegas shooting, so one of the things that I don't know how many people know this, but I lost my brother to gun violence. And after the Vegas shooting, whenever anything like that happens, it really affects me because, when you are kin to a victim of gun violence, every incident just rocks your world.
Absolutely.
And Dan Smith tweeted something like, what's something I can do here? And I tweeted back a reply of an organization that I support following my brother's death. And, he retweeted and liked and, talked about that organization. So for me, that was huge because he has a much bigger voice than I do. I mean, I know I have people that follow the work that I do and all of that, but he has such a bigger platform. And I just don't think people realize how involved players that make these huge sums of money that are just sort of not even something most people can comprehend, how much good they actually put back into the communities where they live and play and support and visit. And so that's sort of why I was asking some of the questions I was asking of you guys, because I think it's really important for that kind of thing to be highlighted. The fact that you have these players coming on, this is your first year doing it, so they know they're not coming on for traffic or to prop up necessarily their own stake in the world. They're doing it because they want to do good.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they're matching donations. Yeah. I mean, to me, that is just...
Yeah, for sure.
Those are the stories that I don't think that they get told enough.
Absolutely. And that's like one of the things, like when I was in Punta Cana, I reached out to Martin Jacobson and I said, I've been a huge fan of you. And he ended up actually busting the main event while I was like gone getting food. So I wasn't able to talk to him after he busted. Yes. So I messaged him after. I said, I've been a huge fan of you. Like, it'd be like, and he's in Punta Cana, and everyone in Punta Cana was there to have a good time. Like, they were playing poker, but they were there to have a good time and relax on the beach. So we ended up actually going for a few drinks before I actually left, and we were sat there and talked. And honestly, he asked me more questions than I could ask him, so it was kind of cool. And we got to talking afterwards, and that's how I got him on the stream. And then yesterday, he said, yeah, I'll match whatever donations you guys raise. And we raised just under $150. So I messaged him. I said, yeah, this is how much we raised. He goes, that's not good enough. So he messaged us. He messaged us back today, and he sent us a donation of $1,000 today. I was just like, wow, like
crazy.
He's just such a friendly guy and such a good guy for the game and for the poker and for charity and everything like that.
So, sort of that marketing person in me, I don't think poker does enough to market the good behind its champions because, I saw a little bit of the stream where he was on. Like I said, I sort of been trying to pop in and out as much as possible. And, I just have a whole new level of respect for him. I have never talked to him in person, but he was like, here's the thing, and Brett will laugh at you because every time, or laugh at me, I should say, because every time he sends me to interview somebody, I come back and say, he's my favorite. Because they all are, for the most part. There are a few, maybe not so much, but he's like, you say that every time. And I said, it's because, when you follow an event, I joined PokerNews to cover the World Series because I needed to get to Vegas. I'm a poker fan. I haven't had a summer. At that time, I thought I was going to be able to play some, but they changed the rules right before I got there, so that, which just, gutted me. But, so I was there, I was working, that's fine. And I was there because I was a poker fan and I couldn't be away. And so then to start to talk to these players that I have followed and watched, and, it's just been amazing. And it's really an interesting thing, and I'm sure you guys can attest, to do work that you love, talk to people that you respect, and find out that they're just real people too.
Yeah.
And then to find out the kind of good that they do and the force of good that they are in this world is, just icing on the cake.
Yeah, it's just...
And YouTube too, by the way.
Well, it's just super interesting because... I think about, we come across so many poker players, and, I started to kind of get to know a lot more poker players in my own city first, and then started playing more, outside of Canada. But, you see a lot of, the top pros, middle range pros, and then like the grinders too. But, you think about it, and there's a lot of people, like, it sucks, but like a lot of people in the industry are so jaded because they're just grinding. They're like, I'm thinking about my hourly, like I'm stuck for the month and blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of part of why I thought I need to give back, because I don't feel like I was jaded while I was working in finance or whatever, but I think that life just it just kind of happens and you don't think about making time. Like you could easily go, like I actually wanted to, on top of, in addition to doing the stream, also talking to people in person and helping in person and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where you're like, okay, well, people in this industry, hopefully, even seeing one of our streams or seeing Martin Jacobson or people like that talk about giving back, maybe help rejuvenate some people that
Well, it's interesting that you say that because...
Sorry, we have a troll in chat. We're just going to...
Do I...
No, go ahead. We're just going to...
Are we still good? Because I know you have Ryan's coming on, and I'm a talker, so you guys just cut me off when you need to.
You're good.
So it's interesting, I, as a mom, as a Catholic, I had an enormous amount of guilt. So I was always worried about things, and everything was always my fault, and... the woe of the world was on my shoulders, and I'm sure I had something to do with everything bad, right? So I would say I guess it was 5 or 6 years ago, I decided something needed to change. And I went to the bookstore and stood in this aisle of self-help books, right? Looking at all these books. And I picked up a book called Happy for No Reason.
Yeah.
And I decided that I was going on a happy for no reason journey. And I literally changed the way I looked at everything from that moment on. And it really has, I don't look at losses as necessarily a loss. I don't like to lose. I'm competitive and I want to win and I will fight to the death.
Not me.
But I am, but when you change your perspective of just that, that it's all just relative and everything works out the way it's supposed to work out eventually anyway. And if you stay true to what you believe and all of that, it all works out. And I feel like if you're so miserable playing poker, why are you playing?
Yeah, it's like one of those things. Yeah, like I've heard, like, I don't know what it is. It's probably the freedom that poker players tend to have sometimes.
I guess
that's the thing, right? I heard one poker pro say, if I have to get a job, I'll just die. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like it's absolutely absurd to me that is even a thought. I've seen people just super miserable, but there's people, for example, hopefully still listening, Ryan LaPlante, who's going to come on, like, just super, like, and I was thinking about, questions that I have for him. One of them, which, maybe you want to prepare your answer, Ryan, but one of my questions is going to be, like, how, he's very humble, he's super positive, and, people say, on Twitter, stop coaching on Twitter. He's a coach and he charges for coaching, but he also talks about hands for free on Twitter. And I kind of want, one of the things I want to talk to him about is how do you maintain such, like, composure and positivity and whatnot in your life. And he's such a positive force in the community, which is why I'm really happy that we're going to have him on in less than an hour. But, like, it's one of those things where people just are so negative and jaded and just angry about, poker and, like, and so for me, I would hate to have that feeling after a while, because I love the game. I love playing it and, just learning about it. And I wish I could spend more time studying it. But, when you're around poker tournaments for 12 hours a day, you're kind of just like, I need a break a little bit, But yeah, so it's kind of, that's why, I'm having a lot of the guests on that we're having is, like, they're all just people that really stood out to me that, I would love to talk to this person, or there's so many more. I have a massive list. Like, we put together, like, who can we ask? I was half expecting most people to say no.
How did I get on here?
Honestly, like, you're positive about, like, everything. So I was like, we need somebody on here we can talk about poker, but not, there's people, Ryan's a bracelet winner. Jen Shahadi's poker pro. She's won lots of stuff. She's, a mother, professional poker player, super genius. Like, we have all these people that, yes, we have accolades, but we want to talk about, like, real life too, like, we want to talk about the non-poker players who have real lives outside of the game on top of it too, right? I mean, I'm sure, Ryan's a coach. He is in a relationship. He, like, plays poker. He coaches poker. He's just all about it. And, I want to know, like, outside of all that, how do these players all just stay composed and not just, like, have the series of emotions that sometimes come with poker, like tilt or, like, just frustration and stuff like that. So I'm really excited. I'm pretty much asking, all of them, like, how do you just stay so chill all the time? I'm on, like, the stream, and after the 8 hours, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so drained, Well,
the funny thing is I'm a big believer that what you put out into the universe, you get back. Mm-hmm. So I believe, like, when you're at the table and you're all negative, you get that back, right?
Yeah.
I always find I play my best, I win the most, whatever you want to measure success by at a poker table, when I'm having fun. Mm-hmm. And when I'm sitting there with headphones on and quiet and not interacting, mm-hmm. almost, it's uncanny how, less fulfilling it is, both monetarily and just because I love the game.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I want to say to these people that are always complaining, like, if it's that horrible, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
There's something to be said about going to work, clocking in, clocking out, and leaving your work at work. That doesn't happen in poker.
No.
Because you're always leaving with, did I make the right play? I overanalyze every single hand. Would I have done the same thing? You talk about it to your friends, whatever. You never leave poker at the table.
Yeah.
It becomes consuming, and if you hate it and you're complaining, that becomes your entire life, and I just don't understand that.
Yeah. And I think that's one of our, like, when you look at all of our guests that we have on the stream, it's a lot of them just have the love and the passion for the game, right? Like, if they win a bracelet or they win the main event, like, it doesn't change their lives. Like, yesterday when we were talking to Martin Jacobson, like, he said, my life didn't change after I won the main event. I still play, the $55 online tournaments. Like, I still love, I just love the game. Like, I just love playing the game, and I might be better than some people at it, and that's why I'm succeeding. And you look at Kristen Bicknell, the same thing, right? Like, she loves the game, and that's why we want to have these people on.
Her and I talked in Panama, because I was interviewing her for a PokerNews article, and I was like, well, she's going to be there, I'm going to be there, let's just do it in person. We talked for 3 hours. Like, it was absolutely, I mean, she's so passionate about the game. So it's kind of really cool that we've had majority of the people that we've asked to come on here, they're not saying no. Ari Engel's in Australia or Amsterdam, and he's like, well, I'm playing live on the 26th, but I can hop on before. And I'm like, okay, like, if you're okay. He's like, I'm happy to do it. And just like, nobody's really said no to us, and they're making the time for us, and we really appreciate it. So it's not really for us. It's, we're doing it for charity, and they're using their voices to help us raise the money and just be supportive. So we're, it's a really good thing we're doing, and I hope that we can do it every year. That I would love to.
Even if I win a trophy, like if I go to Argentina and play and win a trophy, I will still be your marketing director next year.
Big thumbs up then.
You know what? We would love it. You're booked right now. We'll send you the invoice.
Well, I just want to say from my little corner of the world that, it's an honor to know you guys, and I had a lot of fun working with both of you. I tend to just like have fun where I like to have fun. So like, I don't hang around with people that don't make me feel like I'm having fun. Yeah. So when I come bother you, it's because you guys make me feel good.
Awesome.
Just so you know.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you.
You guys are the best. And, I mean, I don't know if, what your plans are for the next few days. If there's anything I can help, I've been trying to share your message when I can.
We appreciate that.
Let me know. And, I'm sorry for everybody who's been watching that you got me and not Brian. But he's coming up in like a half an hour, so stay put.
He's coming up in about 35 minutes, and we're going to fire out the link. But thank you so much, Kim, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
It was awesome.
All the support is. We've also loved working with you. I thought of you immediately when you're like, oh, it's, how can I help? And I'm like, well, it'd be really cool to talk about you. I was
thinking I would write an article. You're like, come on. I'm like, yeah.
Hey, if you want to write an article, we'd love it. So
I'll see what I can do.
Cool. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Kim.
I honor you guys.
Thank
you.
See
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.